Have you ever wondered why someone might secretly dislike you, even if you've done nothing wrong? It's a perplexing and often unsettling experience, one that can lead you to question your actions, your words, and even your worth. You may try harder to be likable, only to find the coldness persists. But what if the reasons have nothing to do with you at all? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words hold the key to navigating such situations with grace and resilience. The truth is, human emotions are complex, and feelings like envy, misunderstanding, or differences in values can lead to hidden animosities. These emotions often stem from the inner struggles of others, not your actions. In this article, we'll explore 9 surprising reasons why people might secretly hate you, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. You'll uncover practical strategies to maintain your inner peace while building stronger, more authentic connections. So, are you ready to understand these hidden dynamics and transform your relationships? Stay until the end of this journey, and you'll walk away with insights that not only empower, but also inspire you to live with clarity, confidence, and compassion. Reason number 1: envy and jealousy. Have you ever felt an undercurrent of negativity from someone, subtle yet persistent, without understanding why? Often the root cause lies in envy and jealousy. These emotions, while deeply human, act like a mirror reflecting what others feel they lack. When someone sees your professional success, personal achievements, or even your authenticity, they may perceive it as a reminder of their own unfulfilled desires or insecurities. Instead of finding inspiration in your accomplishments, they may harbor resentment, letting these emotions fester into negativity toward you. Envy and jealousy are corrosive forces in relationships. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Don't worry about things outside your control. Their envy is not your burden." These emotions reveal more about the other person's internal struggles than about you. For instance, imagine a coworker who appears cold or dismissive. Perhaps they envy your recent promotion or the recognition you've received. While their behavior may sting, it is crucial to remember that their reaction reflects their own insecurities, not your worth. But how do you navigate this without letting it affect your peace? The first step is to shift your perspective. Recognize that envy stems from dissatisfaction within the other person. This understanding allows you to approach such situations with compassion rather than retaliation. When faced with hostility, resist the urge to mirror their negativity. Instead, focus on your actions and values, things within your control. A practical example comes from a friend of mine, Jane, who excelled in her career. Despite her kindness, a colleague consistently spread rumors about her. Jane initially felt hurt and defensive, but then she realized the gossip wasn't about her, it was about her colleague's insecurities. Inspired by Marcus Aurelius, she chose to act with integrity and continued to support her team. Over time, her authenticity and resilience spoke louder than the rumors, and her relationships with other colleagues flourished. This leads to an important Stoic principle. Choose how you respond. You can't control how others feel about you, but you can control your thoughts and actions. By refusing to internalize their envy, you free yourself from unnecessary emotional burdens. The key is to remain steadfast in your values, maintaining your peace and focus. Here's something to reflect on. Have you ever encountered jealousy from someone close to you? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you navigated that challenge. Additionally, use envy as an opportunity for self-growth. If you sense jealousy directed at you, ask yourself, are there ways to support or uplift the person? A simple act of kindness, like acknowledging their strengths, can sometimes disarm their resentment and pave the way for better understanding. Of course, this isn't always possible, especially when the hostility is deeply ingrained. In such cases, setting boundaries is a powerful act of self-preservation. If this resonates with you, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more empowering insights. Remember, their envy is their battle, not yours. You don't need to dim your light to make others comfortable. Instead, shine unapologetically, staying true to yourself and your journey. Finally, take a moment to journal about your experiences with envy, whether you've been the target or perhaps even felt it yourself. How can you turn these moments into opportunities for growth and compassion? Let this be your first step toward mastering your emotions and building stronger, more authentic relationships. Reason number 2, misunderstandings and poor communication. While envy and jealousy may often stem from internal struggles, misunderstandings are another silent culprit that can sow resentment and create emotional distance. At its core, a misunderstanding is simply a gap between what we intend to communicate and how it's perceived. But left unresolved, even the smallest misinterpretation can grow into a chasm of distrust. Imagine this scenario. Sarah, an ambitious professional, receives an email from her manager with what seems to be a sharp tone. Feeling criticized, she replies defensively. What Sarah doesn't realize is that her manager, swamped with deadlines, unintentionally came across as curt. A simple clarification could have diffused the situation, but instead, the misunderstanding deepens, straining their relationship. Epictetus reminds us, first, understand the other person before you react. Stoic wisdom teaches us that patience and clarity are vital in navigating human interactions. Misunderstandings often arise not because of malice, but due to assumptions, emotional states, or even cultural differences. A single word, a misunderstood tone, or an untimely facial expression can create a narrative that was never intended. So how can we avoid letting poor communication derail our relationships? The answer lies in 2 key practices: active listening and clear expression. Active listening means giving your full attention to the other person, not just hearing their words, but seeking to understand their emotions and intent. It's about asking questions like, "What do you mean by that?" or "Can you elaborate?" to ensure clarity. Clear expression, on the other hand, requires us to be mindful of how we convey our thoughts. This includes paying attention to tone, context, and timing. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," a more constructive approach would be, "I feel unheard when I try to share my thoughts. Can we discuss this?" Let's take another story. John and his friend Alex had been close for years, but one day Alex stopped responding to John's texts. Hurt and confused, John assumed Alex was angry at him and decided to give him space. Months later, Alex revealed that he had been overwhelmed by personal struggles and had withdrawn from everyone, not just John. A single honest conversation could have saved their friendship from months of silence. Misunderstandings are inevitable, but how we handle them is within our control. By embracing empathy and practicing patience, we can prevent small missteps from escalating into major conflicts. The next time you find yourself misjudged or misinterpreted, pause and ask yourself, could this be a misunderstanding? Taking a step back to clarify before reacting can save relationships from unnecessary tension. Have you ever experienced a misunderstanding that spiraled out of control? How did you resolve it? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you navigated that challenge. And if you found value in this insight, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more wisdom inspired by Stoic philosophy. As you reflect on this lesson, consider this simple exercise. Write about a recent misunderstanding and how you could have approached it differently. Let it guide you toward better communication and deeper connections. After all, understanding others is the foundation of harmonious relationships. Let's grow together by fostering clarity and empathy in every interaction. Reason for 3. Differences in values and beliefs. Misunderstandings can often be resolved through clearer communication, but conflicts stemming from differences in values and beliefs are far more complex. These differences run deep, touching the very core of who we are. They shape our decisions, define our identity, and influence how we see the world. When someone's values clash with our own, it can feel like an unspoken challenge to our way of life, creating barriers that are difficult to overcome. For example, imagine a family where one sibling chooses a minimalist lifestyle, while the others prioritize material success. This divergence may lead to feelings of judgment or alienation, even if no words are exchanged. As Seneca wisely advised, respect others' paths as you walk your own. Stoicism teaches us that while values and beliefs vary from person to person, they are deeply personal, shaped by unique experiences and upbringings. Instead of perceiving differences as threats, we should view them as opportunities to broaden our perspectives. Take the story of a mentor and mentee. The mentor, steeped in traditional methods, initially resists the mentee's innovative ideas. However, by engaging in open dialogue and seeking to understand the mentee's vision, the mentor discovers fresh approaches that enhance their shared work. To navigate these challenges, the first step is practicing humility. Recognize that your beliefs are not universal truths, but personal interpretations of the world. This mindset encourages empathy, allowing you to step into someone else's shoes and see life through their lens. Ask questions like, "What inspired you to think this way?" or "How has this belief impacted your decisions?" Such curiosity fosters connection rather than division. Reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever felt rejected because your values didn't align with someone else's? Or perhaps you've judged others for their differing views? Share your story in the comments below. It could inspire others to approach these situations with more understanding. The second step is embracing diversity. Differences are not just inevitable, they're essential for growth. In a world where no two individuals share identical paths, diversity of thought enriches our understanding and sharpens our perspectives. Imagine the strength of a team where contrasting viewpoints lead to innovative solutions rather than conflict. If this resonates with you, give this video a like and subscribe for more Stoic-inspired content. Remember, respecting others' values doesn't mean compromising your own. It means acknowledging that every person's journey is unique and valuable. Finally, here's a simple exercise to practice. Think of someone whose beliefs or values you struggle to understand. Write down 3 questions you could ask them to learn more about their perspective. Approach these questions with genuine curiosity, and you might be surprised by the insights you gain. By embracing humility, fostering empathy, and celebrating diversity, we can transform differences into bridges rather than barriers. After all, it's through understanding and tolerance that we create a world rich in wisdom and connection. Reason number 4. Gossip and rumors. Differences in values and beliefs can create barriers in relationships, but there is perhaps nothing more damaging than gossip and rumors. These subtle yet destructive forces have the power to tarnish reputations, strain connections, and instill doubt in even the strongest bonds. Gossip spreads like wildfire, fueled by half-truths, exaggerations, and sometimes outright lies, often leaving the target defenseless against a narrative they never chose. Imagine walking into a room and sensing whispers about your character, built on nothing but speculation. It's a disheartening and isolating experience that can shake even the most confident individuals. As Marcus Aurelius profoundly stated, "The truth is like a lion. You don't need to defend it. It will defend itself." Stoicism teaches us to remain grounded in our integrity, focusing on what we can control, our actions and responses, rather than the opinions of others. While it's natural to feel anger or frustration when confronted with falsehoods, retaliating or obsessing over others' perceptions only drains your energy. Instead, let your character speak louder than any rumor. By consistently demonstrating honesty and kindness, you allow the truth to shine through, dispelling lies over time. Consider the story of Emma, a dedicated volunteer at a community center. One day, a baseless rumor began circulating, accusing her of favoritism in allocating resources. Though hurt by the accusations, Emma chose not to engage in arguments or defend herself aggressively. Instead, she continued her work with unwavering commitment, treating everyone with fairness and respect. Over time, her actions silenced the gossip, and those who doubted her came to see the truth through her consistent integrity. To navigate the impact of gossip, remind yourself that the opinions of others are outside your control. Ask yourself, am I acting in alignment with my values? If the answer is yes, trust in the strength of your authenticity. Furthermore, avoid falling into the trap of participating in gossip about others, as it perpetuates the same cycle of harm. Instead, use your words to uplift and support, setting a positive example. Have you ever been the subject of a rumor or seen someone else struggle with false narratives? How did you respond, and what did you learn from the experience? Share your insights in the comments below. It could help others facing similar challenges. And if this resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more empowering lessons inspired by Stoic philosophy. For a practical exercise, reflect on a time when you encountered gossip. Write down how you responded and consider how aligning with Stoic principles, maintaining integrity, focusing on your actions, and trusting in the truth could have improved the situation. By practicing this mindset, you empower yourself to rise above negativity, allowing your truth to shine through. Remember, gossip may create noise, but a life lived with integrity always speaks the loudest. Reason number 5. Personal insecurities and projection. Gossip and rumors may damage reputations, but personal insecurities and projection often inflict harm in more insidious ways. Insecurity is like an invisible shadow, silent yet ever present, and it drives people to project their own fears, doubts, and frustrations onto others. When someone feels inadequate, they may unconsciously direct those feelings outward, seeing in others what they dislike or fear in themselves. For example, imagine a coworker who constantly criticizes your work, not because it's flawed, but because your achievements remind them of their own unfulfilled potential. Their negativity, though directed at you, originates from their internal struggles. Epictetus wisely observed, "What concerns others is their own burden, not yours." Stoicism teaches us to separate ourselves from the emotional weight of others' insecurities. When faced with unwarranted hostility or criticism, it's crucial to recognize that these reactions are not a reflection of your worth, but of their internal battles. This perspective can be liberating, allowing you to approach such situations with understanding rather than defensiveness. Consider the story of David, a talented musician whose bandmate Mark frequently undermined his ideas. At first, David felt frustrated and began doubting his abilities. However, after observing Mark's behavior more closely, he realized that Mark struggled with his own insecurities about not contributing as much to the group's success. Instead of retaliating, David chose to acknowledge Mark's efforts and openly praised his unique strengths. This small act of compassion diffused tension, strengthening their collaboration and deepening their respect for one another. To navigate situations rooted in projection, the first step is to remind yourself that another person's insecurities are not your responsibility. When someone directs negativity toward you, pause and reflect. Is this truly about me, or is it about their struggles? This mental shift helps you avoid internalizing their emotions and maintain your peace. The second step is to respond with empathy rather than retaliation. While you are not obligated to fix someone else's insecurities, showing understanding can sometimes soften their defensiveness. Simple actions like acknowledging their perspective or offering encouragement can foster a more positive dynamic. Have you ever experienced someone projecting their insecurities onto you? How did it affect you, and how did you respond? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story could provide valuable insight for others navigating similar challenges. And if this lesson resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more Stoic-inspired guidance. For a practical exercise, think of a recent conflict where someone's negativity seemed disproportionate. Reflect on how their insecurities may have influenced their behavior and how you could have responded differently. By practicing this self-awareness and compassion, you not only protect your own peace, but also create opportunities for understanding and growth in your relationships. Remember, their burden is not yours to carry, and your worth is not defined by their insecurities. Let this wisdom empower you to navigate such challenges with clarity and grace. Reason, but a 6. Lack of empathy. Personal insecurities often lead to projection, but a lack of empathy is another root cause of negative emotions that can quietly erode relationships. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, is fundamental to harmonious connections. Without it, misunderstandings deepen, judgments harden, and resentment takes root. When people fail to consider the motivations, struggles, or perspectives of others, they often default to prejudice or hasty conclusions. This rigid way of thinking creates emotional barriers, fostering negativity where none might otherwise exist. Marcus Aurelius wisely counseled, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Stoicism teaches us to approach others with patience and understanding, while holding ourselves accountable for our reactions and choices. Imagine encountering someone who dismisses your achievements or misunderstands your intentions. Their lack of empathy may lead them to misinterpret your actions or assume the worst about you. However, reacting with frustration only exacerbates the issue. Instead, embracing tolerance and striving to understand their perspective can create opportunities for connection rather than division. Consider the story of Lisa, a community leader who faced criticism from a member of her team. The team member accused her of favoritism without fully understanding the rationale behind her decisions. Instead of reacting defensively, Lisa chose to have a private conversation with the individual. She patiently explained her reasoning and took the time to listen to their concerns. Through this dialogue, the team member realized their assumptions were misplaced and the misunderstanding was resolved. This experience not only strengthened their relationship, but also highlighted the transformative power of empathy in diffusing conflict. To foster empathy, it's essential to practice active listening. This means truly hearing what someone is saying, not just waiting for your turn to respond. Ask clarifying questions like, "What makes you feel that way?" or "Can you help me understand your perspective better?" These questions open the door to deeper understanding and demonstrate genuine care. Reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever misjudged someone due to a lack of understanding? Or have you been on the receiving end of such judgments? Share your story in the comments. It could inspire others to approach their interactions with more compassion. And if you're finding value in these insights, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more lessons inspired by Stoic philosophy. For a practical exercise, identify a recent interaction where empathy was lacking, either on your part or someone else's. Write down how greater understanding could have improved the outcome. By actively practicing empathy in your daily interactions, you contribute to a more compassionate and connected world. Remember, while you cannot control how others perceive you, you can choose to approach every situation with patience, understanding, and a commitment to fostering positive relationships. Empathy isn't just a virtue, it's a bridge to meaningful connections that enrich both our lives and those of others. Reason 7. Competition and rivalry. While a lack of empathy often fosters negativity, unhealthy competition and rivalry can transform relationships into battlegrounds of resentment. Competition in itself is not inherently harmful. It can be a powerful motivator for growth and achievement. However, when it becomes a relentless comparison of success, it morphs into rivalry, where someone's focus shifts from excelling personally to desiring the downfall of others. This mindset doesn't just damage relationships, it erodes self-esteem and breeds bitterness. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Another's success is not your failure." Stoic wisdom teaches us to view life as a unique journey, where each person's path is distinct and incomparable. Yet in a world that often glorifies comparison, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your worth against someone else's achievements. Imagine a workplace scenario where two colleagues, equally skilled, are vying for the same promotion. Instead of celebrating each other's strengths, one begins to undermine the other, focusing not on personal growth, but on tearing down their rival. The result? A toxic dynamic where resentment festers and collaboration is replaced by animosity. To overcome the destructive nature of rivalry, the first step is shifting your focus inward. Instead of obsessing over others' successes, ask yourself, what goals truly matter to me? This introspection allows you to align your actions with your values, fostering fulfillment that isn't dependent on external validation. Consider the story of Andrew, a graphic designer who constantly compared his work to a peer's. This rivalry consumed him, leaving little room for creativity. It wasn't until he redirected his energy toward honing his own skills that he discovered a newfound passion and excelled in ways he hadn't imagined. The second step is practicing gratitude and collaboration. Recognizing the achievements of others doesn't diminish your own. It creates opportunities for mutual growth. By celebrating others' successes, you transform rivalry into camaraderie, building stronger connections rather than burning bridges. Reflect on your experiences. Have you ever been caught in the trap of unhealthy competition? How did it affect your mindset and relationships? Share your story in the comments. It could inspire someone to break free from the cycle of comparison. If this message resonates with you, give this video a like and subscribe for more empowering insights inspired by Stoic philosophy. Finally, here's a simple exercise to put this lesson into practice. Write down one personal goal you've been neglecting due to excessive focus on others. Then list 3 actionable steps to move closer to achieving it. By channeling your energy inward and embracing your unique journey, you not only free yourself from the burden of rivalry, but also unlock your true potential. Remember, your path is yours alone, and there is space for everyone to succeed. Reason 8. Social expectations. Unhealthy competition often leads to resentment, but there's another equally insidious force: the weight of social expectations. Living under the invisible rules of societal norms can feel like walking a tightrope. When you step off this expected path, whether by pursuing an unconventional career, choosing a non-traditional lifestyle, or simply expressing yourself authentically, it's often met with judgment, criticism, or even rejection. The pushback doesn't stem from your actions being wrong, but from the discomfort others feel when their deeply held beliefs are challenged. Seneca wisely advised, "Live for yourself, not for the crowd." Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of aligning your actions with your own values, rather than bending to the expectations of others. Yet this is easier said than done. Imagine a young woman, Maya, who decides to leave a stable corporate job to travel the world and start a blog. Her family and friends, steeped in traditional ideals of stability and security, question her decision, labeling it irresponsible. Maya, however, remains steadfast, understanding that her happiness lies in pursuing her dreams, not in fulfilling others' expectations. Over time, her courage inspires those around her to reevaluate their own choices. Breaking free from societal pressures begins with self-awareness. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Am I living according to my own values or trying to please others? When you identify what drives your fulfillment, you gain clarity and confidence to live authentically. This doesn't mean ignoring the feelings of those around you, but rather balancing their concerns with your personal truth. The next step is to cultivate resilience against criticism. Remember, people's judgments often reflect their own fears and insecurities, not your worth. By embracing this perspective, you can approach their concerns with empathy while staying true to your path. For example, when Maya's parents voiced their doubts, she didn't react defensively. Instead, she explained her vision and reassured them with her thoughtful planning, easing their worries without compromising her dreams. Have you ever felt pressured to conform to societal expectations, even when it conflicted with your values? How did you navigate that challenge? Share your experience in the comments. It might inspire others to live more authentically. If this resonates with you, like this video and subscribe for more insights that empower personal growth through Stoic philosophy. To put this lesson into practice, take a moment to reflect on one area of your life where societal expectations weigh heavily. Write down a single step you can take today to align your choices more closely with your values. By doing so, you free yourself from the burden of external validation and move closer to living a life of authenticity and fulfillment. Remember, your journey is your own, and true happiness lies in honoring that truth. Reason number 9, lack of recognition. The burden of social expectations can weigh heavily, but perhaps an equally poignant struggle arises from the lack of recognition. As social beings, we thrive on feeling valued and appreciated for our efforts. Recognition reassures us that our contributions matter. When this acknowledgement is absent, it often leads to frustration, dissatisfaction, and even resentment, leaving an emotional void that's difficult to fill. This challenge can manifest in various areas of life: workplaces, families, friendships, and, if left unaddressed, can strain even the strongest relationships. Imagine pouring your heart into organizing a team project, only to watch someone else receive the accolades you worked so tirelessly to achieve. The sting of feeling invisible can shake your confidence and make you question your worth. Stoic wisdom offers a liberating perspective on this issue. Epictetus reminds us, "Do not seek approval, live a life of virtue and integrity." This profound advice encourages us to focus on the intrinsic value of our actions rather than the external validation of others. Consider the story of Daniel, a passionate teacher who devotes endless hours to his students. Despite his commitment, his efforts are overshadowed by colleagues who receive more public recognition. Initially disheartened, Daniel shifts his perspective, choosing to measure his success by the positive impact he has on his students. Over time, he realizes that the joy of witnessing his students' growth far outweighs the fleeting praise of others. This shift not only renews his sense of purpose, but also strengthens his resolve to stay true to his values. To overcome the feelings of unrecognized effort, the first step is to redefine success on your own terms. Ask yourself, what truly fulfills me? Is it the applause of others or the satisfaction of knowing I've given my best? By focusing on the integrity and purpose of your actions, you detach your sense of worth from external validation, gaining a deeper and more sustainable sense of fulfillment. This mindset allows you to find joy in the process, regardless of whether others acknowledge it. Another powerful way to address this struggle is to actively recognize others. Acknowledgement is not just a gift you receive, but one you can give. Simple acts of appreciation, whether a kind word, a heartfelt thank you, or a genuine compliment, can have a profound ripple effect. For instance, imagine a colleague who consistently goes the extra mile but rarely receives recognition. Taking the time to commend their efforts can uplift them and strengthen your bond. These small gestures create an environment of positivity and mutual respect where everyone feels valued. Reflect on your experiences. Have you ever felt overlooked despite your hard work? How did you navigate that feeling, and what did you learn from it? Sharing your story in the comments might inspire others who are facing similar challenges. If this insight resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more empowering lessons inspired by Stoic philosophy. To put this lesson into practice, identify someone in your life who might feel unappreciated. Write them a note, send a thoughtful message, or express your gratitude in person. These small acts of recognition remind others and yourself that the value of our efforts often extends far beyond external praise. Ultimately, a life lived with virtue and integrity is its own reward. True fulfillment comes from knowing that you've given your best, not from seeking approval. Let this understanding guide you, and you'll discover a deeper sense of purpose that no applause can match. As we conclude this journey through the 9 reasons why others might secretly harbor negativity toward you, let's reflect on the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Each reason we explored, whether it stems from envy, misunderstandings, or societal expectations, reminds us of one fundamental truth. The way others feel about you often reflects their own battles, not your worth. By embracing the principles of Stoicism, you can rise above these challenges, staying grounded in your values and focused on what truly matters: your growth, integrity, and inner peace. Now, it's your turn to act. How will you apply these lessons in your own life? Have you experienced any of the reasons we discussed today? How did you navigate them? Share your story in the comments below. Your insight could inspire someone else on their path. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and share this video to spread the light of Stoic wisdom with others. Together, we can build a community rooted in understanding, growth, and resilience. Before you go, I'll leave you with a challenge. What is one area of your life where you've been seeking external validation? How can you shift your focus inward to align with your true values? Reflect on this question and let it guide your journey toward greater authenticity and peace. Thank you for being here, for engaging with this philosophy, and for taking steps to grow. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic, and stay true to yourself.